What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about many different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Scream 7, The Black Phone 2, and Scary Movie 6. Now, starting off here with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we got a follow-up on JT Molner's tweet from a few days ago related to Texas Chainsaw. He was also in attendance at Comic-Con and did an interview with the Mary Sue to give us an update. He said it feels very good regardless of whether any of those rumors are true. He must be talking about the Glenn Powell rumors. He said it's really nice because, wow, people would like to see my version of that. My company used to be called No Remake Pictures. It's now called Electric Lady, just in case, to keep my mind open. But I don't like the idea of remaking movies that I think are perfect. And I will say that I do think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect horror film. But yeah, you know, Glenn Powell is a tremendous actor and one of the first real movie stars to come along in a long time. I was lucky enough, somebody exposed him to Strange Darling, and we got to take a meeting, and he was really excited about it. And I was excited about his work, and so I do know him, and I met him, and it was a really cool meeting, and I'd love to do something with him at some point. But those rumors about Texas Chainsaw Massacre were strange. I didn't know quite where they came from. Now, producer Roy Lee, who was there with him, followed up by saying, well, there is some validity to it, and we're still in discussions, but nothing that's concrete just yet. Now, I'll just echo the same thing I shared yesterday. Strap this IP to Molner's back and just launch it. Strange Darling is a film that you should definitely check out if you haven't already, and you tell me, after someone who's watched the film, if he wouldn't absolutely be able to capture a gorgeously shot Texas Chainsaw movie. You tell me that after watching Strange Darling. I have complete confidence that JT Molner is the right choice for this. They can come up with somebody else, I'm certain, that I can also say gave us a phenomenal film. But I just think that out of the options, I would pick JT Molner, so I hope this works out for him. Now, let's talk about Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th franchise is reporting that Nancy Negrant has joined Crystal Lake. I do want to point out that she first made this known in June via this Instagram post. Now, I noticed this was also posted on, I believe, Friday the 13th, so that's funny. But the report reads, more news today on the continuing production of Friday the 13th prequel series, Crystal Lake. Veteran actress Nancy Negrant joins the A24 and Peacock series for multiple episodes of the highly anticipated return to Crystal Lake. Nancy has been cast as Kay Christie relative to Steve Christie. Steve appeared in the original film as the owner of the camp, who was working tirelessly to reopen the long dormant and cursed camp. There are sure to be some great story points to follow in the series pertaining to Kay, Steve, and the town of Crystal Lake. Now, I really like how this show, we can expect it to unpack these characters from the first film a bit more, especially the Christies. I think they definitely deserve to be unpacked. I'm not familiar with Nancy, but maybe I've seen her in a few projects growing up, but I wish her the best in this role. All I can really think about to stay hyped is Linda Cardellini being cast as Pamela Voorhees. They really struck gold with that casting choice. Pamela is going to be in a lot of discussions after this new show, hopefully. Let's talk about Scream 7. So Scream 7 filming footage has surfaced online courtesy of Craven Something Scary. Shout out to you. But they shared this clip of Isabel May as Tatum Evans running to Sydney's coffee shop. We know Sydney is her mom, and this aligns with the photo of Ghostface I believe Craven shared before. But now we have more context on that shot. Ghostface is stalking Tatum, and I'll again predict Kevin won't be able to resist a Halloween H2O nod. That's what that'll build to. And we'll get Ghostface and Sydney face to face with the glass separating them. Say what you will about H2O, but that shot is pretty iconic. Now, prior to this scene, I believe an attack at a bar is going to occur, or at the bar. And when I say the bar, of course, I'm talking about the bar that many people know they shot at. Whatever goes on at that bar is probably going to end up being my favorite sequence in this film. I will say that. This was a nice short clip that was released online by Craven Something Scary, or allowed to be released online, I think. I haven't seen Craven himself posted. Maybe I need to check on that. But yeah, nice clip. Looks like it's going to again lead up to Ghostface coming face to face with Sidney Prescott, and it'll be a nod to H2O. That's my bold prediction on how that scene will end. Now let's talk about The Black Phone 2. I wanted to go over the plot description for Black Phone 2 and tease a few things for you guys. I completely overlooked this, but it says, as Finn, now 17, struggles with life after his captivity, the headstrong 15-year-old Gwen begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. Determined to solve the mystery and end the torment for both her and her brother, Gwen persuades Finn to visit the camp during a winter storm. There she uncovers a shattering intersection between the grabber and her own family's history. Together, she and Finn must confront a killer who has grown more powerful in death and more significant to them than either could imagine. Now, notice how this seems very Gwen-centered. From what I know, Gwen is the star of this story, and until I see it myself, Finn seems to be taking a back seat. And notice the tease of a connection between the grabber and the siblings' family. Well, let's just say I can see that connection being hit or miss with audiences. I'm hearing it's better than the OG, but right now I don't see myself thinking that. I'll probably be someone who thinks it's a watchable sequel that I look back on and go, well, at least it wasn't Sinister 2. The movie 100% digs deeper into our antagonist's roots as a killer. Anna Lorraine, I will say, plays a pivotal role to the overall story, and the camp will unlock a lot of secrets. But to me, based on everything I've heard about The Black Phone 2, it sounds like a watchable sequel that does a lot of unnecessary deep diving into certain things and connects certain dots that I'll probably argue shouldn't have been connected. But my whole mindset again could be changed once I see how it's executed. I'm hearing a lot of praise when it comes to the film in regards to the children's performances. They did a phenomenal job together in that first movie, so I can't wait to see their chemistry here. But yeah, it seems to be more of a Gwen type film and not so much Finney. Not that Finney is going to be an afterthought, which I hope is not the case, but this is definitely Gwen's story. Now, let's talk about Scary Movie 6. So, a couple weeks ago, there was this video I put up on Twitter where Marlon Wayans was talking with Big Boy, and he had announced that Scary Movie 6 would be filming in October. And a few weeks prior to that, there was another clip where he had announced or he teased that the OG stars would be coming back. We know Dave Sheridan in the past has basically not hinted at, I should say. It's Marlon who hinted at it with his post of him and Ghostface. Dave Sheridan told us that they would be trying to spoof Scream 5. And I think he also mentioned Terrifier and also the hopes of doing I Know What You Did Last Summer. But in the midst of all those things that transpired over the last couple of weeks from me, there was information shared that seems to indicate the Scream 5 spoof is in full effect. There seems to be something that they've concocted that is in line with Shannon's role in that first movie, in the sense that we know that Sarah Michelle Gellar played Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that character, of course, was named Buffy. But she also played Helen Shivers, which is who the character was spoofing. There's a character here that's a big nod to Jenna Ortega's recent work. That's a nod to both Wednesday and Tara in Scream 5. That's all I will say. There's a lot more I want to get into, but I just wanted to give you guys that little nugget as it pertains to Scary Movie 6. So I think it's safe to say the Wayans are back, and they're already giving some callbacks to that first film. Just going to tack this one last update onto the end of this video here, but for anyone who didn't already know, the Conjuring Last Rites trailer is online. We also got this new poster, which doesn't really impress me. I think it looks pretty basic, and then it just puts some text on it. That's my opinion on this poster. But the trailer itself, I thought the trailer was very engaging, gets me excited, makes me hopeful that this send-off for the Warrens is going to live up to expectations. Not that anyone out there has these high expectations for the film, considering that this is still not from James Wan. But I think we have been hearing that James Wan was a bit more heavily involved with this one, so I'm hoping that this is better than The Devil Made Me Do It. The Devil Made Me Do It still watchable, but it's the weakest one out of the three. So hopefully this will be more in line with those first two movies, and it's a nice send-off for the Warrens that isn't overly reliant on being the jump scare fest, in the sense that the jump scares don't feel earned. If you can make the scares feel earned, we won't have a problem with it, because I think that's what really made those scares in the first film so memorable. They feel earned, and we already care about the characters and the family dynamic, which I hope they can replicate here in this movie as we say goodbye to Ed and Lorraine Warren. But are you guys looking forward to The Conjuring Last Rites? But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.